Hello YouTube, my name is Bookie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a book talk on a book titled Thugs and the Women Who Love Them by the author Wahida Clark. Some background information on Wahida Clark is that she was born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey. She decided to start writing fiction while incarcerated at a women's federal camp in Lexington, Kentucky. She now owns and operates the most popular and fastest growing urban independent publishing house in the industry. Now, while in prison, she wanted to make some money to support her two daughters. She decided to become an author. Her husband, who was also incarcerated at the time, told her that she should write books that, people want to read, like, about pimping and whoring and selling drugs. And that's why she chose to write her books around, the genre street lit or street literature. While in prison, she said she would write the books and she would have friends or family to type up the manuscripts, and she would have the correction officers to make copies. Matter of fact, this book, Thugs and the Women Who Love Them, is part of a series called the Thug Series by her. And Thugs and the Women Who Love Them is about 3 women. In the story, she mentions four women, but she only talks about 3 of them. And their names are Angel, Kyra, and Jazz, known as Jasmine. The story starts off with Angel. She's dating this pimp known as Snake around in the streets, but his real name is Kenan Hightower. He's the type, he beats her. He believes in beating women, basically. He beats her and he beats his prostitutes. But for some reason, Angel, she still, stays with him, even though he's, a woman beater. She's in school to be a lawyer, and the book starts off in the beginning with her writing bad checks in order to get items out of stores. Like most, I think they talked about her like she was writing bad checks in order to get jewelry. And then it goes into how her and Kenan Hightower met. Kenan Hightower is her boyfriend, once again, the pimp, known as Snake on the streets. Sorry for repeating that, but I don't think I mentioned his name in the beginning. Anyway, like I said, he's a pimp because his uncles were pimps. So I guess that's how he was able to get into the game. And her section of the book is not really a lot. It just talks about how he's a mean guy and how he beats his prostitutes. And one prostitute that has been working under him for years, her name is Big Nell. At some point, he beats her because she wants to take a little time off to take care of her mother who is sick. This just irritates him, and he pulls her off to the side and starts beating on her. He beats her so bad until she goes into a coma. And people think that at some point she's going to die, but she doesn't. When she does get out the hospital, she goes to his apartment, and she, treats him like the king he think he is. And she fixes him a nice meal, and he thinks the meal is, while he's eating it, he thinks that the meal is good, just delicious. And after a while, he starts feeling funny, and then he figures out that she has poisoned him, because he starts feeling dizzy, and then next thing you know, the food that she puts in, the poison that she puts in his food, it kills him. And she did this because while she was in a coma, her mother died. And this is what irritates her, and I believe this will fuse her to go to his apartment, Keenan Hightower, the pimp, to kill him. And so Wahida Clark, for some reason, she stops the story about Angel right there. So you never learn, you know, whether Big Nails was locked up. You never find out whether Angel was upset because her boyfriend was killed. The story just stops there. So then we go to her cousin, Kyra. Kyra, Wahida goes back in time with her story. Her story starts off with when she was in high school. She meets this guy named Tyler, and she believes Tyler is so attractive. So one night, her and her friends go to a house party. Her friends leave, but she decides to stay because Tyler is there. Someone passes her a blunt, and after a while, she starts feeling a little funny, and then she falls asleep. So it was I think about, I'm not gonna lie, it was a group of guys. They set this up, and they basically planned to rape her while she was knocked out. But Tyler, he's there, and he rescues her. And they become boyfriend and girlfriend. But after a while, Kyra decides she no longer wants to date Tyler because she believes he's not a good sexual partner, and she believes she could do better with this other guy whose name is Marvin. He's older than her. Basically, she's in high school and he's in his early 20s. And at some point she dumps Tyler and starts dating Marvin, who's a drug dealer. I don't know if I said that. And they become this lovey-dovey couple. And this upsets Tyler. This upsets him so much till he plans on, till he sets up a plan to murder Marvin. Him and his friends, they meet at a spot where they know Marvin and his buddies or sidekicks are going to buy some drugs, I believe, from these two guys in order to make money. So some way Tyler, him and his friends, they sneak up on Marvin and his buddies. They kill one of his buddies. And Tyler, he shoots Marvin in the chest. And he thinks at the time that Marvin is dead, but later on it's mentioned in the story that Marvin did not die. He went to prison for some previous charges that someone pressed against him, and he's serving time. So eventually him and Kyra get back together, and Kyra, just like before, she's not feeling him. So she decides at one point she wants to leave him. At some point in the book, when she's in the process of packing up her items, Marvin shows up at Tyler's apartment where she's also residing. And to me, this was the dirtiest thing in the book. He ends up sleeping with her in Tyler's apartment while he's upstairs. Well, I believe it might have been a house or apartment, but anyway, Marvin ends up sleeping with Kyra in this man's apartment. And then, when they're done having sex, he helps her take all her belongings outside to put in his vehicle so he could leave. But he tells her to go wait on me in the vehicle. I have to go inside and do something. He goes upstairs and he kills Tyler. And I hate this part because Tyler, he really did love Kyra. He stopped her from being raped, and he stopped her from overdosing. And I just feel like, she didn't deserve Tyler. And then in the end, for him to do all that for her, he ended up being killed by the guy who stole her from him. Okay, the next person in the story is Jasmine. Okay, I'm back because my camera cut off. Sorry about that. I left off talking about Jazz, also known as Jasmine in the story. she is also friends with Angel and Kyra. She's also in college like Angel and Kyra. She meets this drug dealer named Fahim, and she tells him in order for them to start a relationship, he has to stop the drug game and get into something that's legit. So he decides to stop selling drugs and become a business owner. He ends up owning 4 liquor stores. And the sad part about it is, in the story, Wahida mentions how Jasmine, is really a hypocrite because she tells him to stop selling drugs. And she ends up getting with this guy that she goes to school with to make meth. Anyway, later on in the story, she ends up getting in trouble for making meth. But before that, like other couples, they have their relationship problems. One day while Jasmine's at a club, she meets this athlete. His name is Smooth. And while she's in the club dancing with him, Fahim walks in, and this irritates him. And once Fahim tells Smooth that Jasmine's his girlfriend, Smooth steps away. However, Fahim doesn't know that Jasmine has Smooth's number. So anyway, that night they squash it. At some point, they get in contact with each other some kind of way, and Jasmine ends up letting Smooth come to her apartment. Fahim walks in on them. They're not doing anything but studying, but he feels disrespected. So him and Smooth, they end up exchanging words, and Smooth leaves. And then right then and there, he breaks up with Jasmine because he feels as though she just disrespected him by letting that guy Smooth into the house that he pays for. So for a while, he ignores her. He doesn't return any of her phone calls. And like I said, at some point in the story, she gets in trouble for making meth. She ends up getting incarcerated. And while she's incarcerated, she also finds out at some point that she's pregnant. And at some point, Fahim, gives Angel the bail money to help get Jasmine out of jail. And when she gets out of jail, her and Fahim, they hook back up. And she tells him that she's pregnant. And toward the end of the story, she finds out that she's sentenced to 17 years in prison. And that her sister in the story, whose name is Mickey, has committed suicide and also made her 4 kids jump from an apartment building. So basically what I'm trying to say is Mickey had 3 kids, and she made them jump from an apartment building, and Mickey jumped right behind them. And if you read the story, you'll find that Mickey is Jasmine's sister who also went to prison. And she got out and she had some kind of mental problem. And I guess her mental problem gets the best of her, and that's what makes her want to commit suicide. But that's how the story ends. Her sister commits suicide. She finds out how many years she had to serve in prison. Every thug needs a lady. And I will come back and do a book talk on that. Really, I didn't really do a book talk in this video. I did a book review. I really liked the book. I think Wahida Clark did a great job. Thanks for watching my video. If you watch it to the end, thanks again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good day.